Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Death and Horror Incorporated. It was written by Stuart, Boon, and it is from the collection Cthulhu Britannica, Shadows of Scotland. Our keeper of arcane lore is Joseph Clay, and this is episode 3. A recap will be given by Nathan Decker as his character, Constable Walter Webster. So without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Nathan?
I once saw myself as a protector of Glasgow, a brave shepherd that fights to save a herd that I grew up with. But as the heart tumbles out of the Ripper's box, I flash back to last night. We stayed up late, discussing theories about Lucy Siddon's killing, weaving ideas of conspiracy around Dr. Cullen and Warden Black. Why was Arkwright paying Cullen thousands of pounds a month? Was he promised a cure to his disease? I don't know. I walked home, full of pride at being part of this investigation, with distinguished detectives and... Well, I was followed by something animalistic. 3-hoofed wolf creatures forced me to cloak myself in trash, in the stink of the city as they mauled an innocent woman, leaving behind a child. Pip, Horowitz, and Collins followed the creature's path, but found that they disappeared into a tunnel system beneath the necropolis. As we geared up to follow these murderers, Canmore met with Cullen, who denied any involvement into Lucy's death, but didn't want to answer any real questions. During the interview, Canmore found that Cullen had written a book, The Seat of Intelligence. It details theories of human consciousness existing in organs within the body, organs that are missing from Lucy Siddon's. But now we're standing around this human heart bleeding into the floor. I'm convinced that we police are no shepherds, but Judas goats.
Okay, thank you, Walter. So we come back to the scene with all of you standing in the room. Some time has passed. There were more cops here now, as they are categorizing the room and taking pictures. You all are in a circle as the Secretary of the Lord Provost walks up to you, and he seems visibly upset, and he's just like, "This is getting out of hand. What? Oh, my God, man, what are you wearing? Oh, what is that smell? Oh my God, what is going on? Tell me, what have you found out?"
We're really not ready to say. We have a number of suspects that we're following up, but we can't pin anything on it, as they say, yet. We're hoping, we shouldn't accuse anyone ahead of time. But as I say, we have a number of suspects, plus we think there's something else going on here, some sort of bizarre experimentation, or that the person who is committing these murders might be doing it in proxy for someone else who requires things to experiment on. We're just not prepared yet to tell him, but we're working very diligently on this.
I understand, and I appreciate the level of discretion you've all demonstrated. Well, most of you have demonstrated so far. But this business with this woman, not far from Constable Webster's home, it has. If the city wasn't already on edge, it's even worse now. I appreciate the work you're doing. I appreciate the way you're going about it. If you have suspects, all I ask is you make sure that you have solid evidence before you make any accusations, because I think whoever you pin this on, they might get ripped out of the jailhouse.
Indeed.
Well, we think we know where they're hiding out.
And where is that?
There's a series of tunnels beneath. a section of Glasgow that seems to be connected with all of the victims.
Yes,
That seems
there's
to be
tunnels
how
all
they-
over Glasgow. They've been here for thousands of years.
We think that might be the way they're traveling about.
So if you could expedite our request for shotguns, you want to flesh them out.
I was told you ought to receive one. How many do you need? How
As
many
many as
assailants do
we
you think
c-
this is, sir?
We at least 3.
Strong. So strong.
Now, isn't what we saw, it's quite different from the previous murders, is it not? The surgical precision,
There was no body.
But no, the surgical. So
they took the
this
whole
one, the
body.
body was gone, but Lucy was killed and then posthumously had organs removed surgically, if I understand Dr. Canmore's report.
Yes, I've looked at some of the other reports. It does seem that the organs are removed after the person has been dispatched.
It's the parts they don't want to eat.
We also have rescued a small child. His mother was the last victim. He's quite traumatized.
Really? Okay. And he was the son of the woman.
Yes, and he said
Where
that there
is
were
he?
2 of them and that they took his mother.
Where is he?
Oh, geez, where did we leave Pip?
He's safe with my wife.
He's at Mr. Webster's house. But of course, he can't stay there. He needs to go. He should have medical care.
I was told that one of you wished to adopt the boy.
I think something might have gotten lost in translation. We can decide that later. See how it works out in this trial run. But no, it's more resources. The things we're looking to chase down are, I don't even know if 5 shotguns would be enough.
Well, again, I appreciate what you're all doing. You have been professional, or up until this point. Please maintain that demeanor. Whatever you need, you can have. You got a little. Looks like cottage cheese there. There we go. But that many firearms, you'll have to get them at the police station, or I can have them delivered here. I will head back to my office to write up the paperwork. But please do not shoot anyone that doesn't deserve it.
But never.
I have heard that before, sir. So I'll just repeat myself. Please don't shoot anyone that doesn't deserve it. No offense to you.
Of course.
Of course.
And God, man, take a shower.
I have.
You smell like a sardine can on a hot summer day.
Thank you.
And he walks out.
I don't think that was a compliment, Webster.
He
At least
doesn't
he's wearing
understand.
clothes. Yes. At least he's wearing clothes.
At least.
You're
I mean,
fools to not disguise
I'm going to
yourself.
have to burn that sweater, but it's fine.
I think you might have misunderstood. I took Walter home. He was bathed and cleaned by his wife. This is now his disguise.
Yes. I've disguised myself with the rubbish bin over there.
Well, I
Why?
think it's
To throw them off the scent. There were 3 of them that followed me.
If they are in fact dog-like, then
They
he
are.
might actually have a point.
Mr. Webster, if we're going down below into their tunnels, your scent might not throw them off. It might attract them.
Courage. Yeah.
Think about it.
That's good. That's good.
The city
we're
is
in the
coming to
tunnel-
them.
Yes, once we're in the tunnel, we'll have to use what we find there to disguise ourselves. Good thinking. Good thinking.
I'm trying to take this all seriously, but if they have an acute sense of smell, then perhaps there's a way we can make that work against them if we have something like,
what are you?
skunk.
What are we even talking about?
The dog things that
Dog things are.
No, they're real.
Dr. Canmore, can I take you aside for a moment?
of course.
Look, why are you buying into this whole dog thing? I mean, these individuals are praised, sure, but why are we ascribing them dog properties like they have the smelling capabilities of dogs or dog faces? I mean, Webster's obviously disturbed.
There have been, as I told you in the beginning, there's been quite some usual freakish sort of mutant things that I've seen. This happens naturally, but it might also seem that such a group of these things would move underground because they wouldn't be accepted in above ground society, and they would be depraved and they would be capable of murder. And we've seen claws, we've seen teeth marks, we've seen attacks. I'm just saying, I don't think that they're supernatural. I just think that they're natural.
Well, I think that if you can come up with some kind of snake oil, as the Americans would say, get Webster confident enough to join us, great. But I don't think we should overthink trying to, I don't know, scent block unicorns.
Well, I'm thinking
or
that
gnomes that live down there,
I'm thinking that smelling salts perhaps might be strong enough that if you place them under a dog's nose, that the dog would yip and run away in fear, or just not trying to get away from the smell. I don't know. Let me think about it for a while. Maybe I'll come up with something.
We have a few leads we should follow up on as well in the meantime. We've talked about speaking with the warden.
I don't trust him. I don't trust any of them. Someone is leading these dogs. A dog does not attack on its own. These are smart. They want something.
Well,
I had to listen to an hour as they took out that heart. These are
Webster.
cruel creatures.
Okay,
Webster,
Constable.
If we find the dogs, as you call them, they can lead us to the owner.
But
they're the best lead we have right now. We could go get stonewalled
that's
by
fine.
Any number of the doctor or the warden or Lord Arkwright.
You seem to think that I don't want to go get these creatures. I do. The city is not safe. I have a wife and daughter here, and I don't think they want to do this their whole life. So yes, we need to go kill them. I think Canmore's idea is a sound one. Go in knowing that these are animals that are harvesting these organs for some reason. Parts they don't like to eat. That's what Pip said.
Abandoned all reason in this entire investigation.
I
don't understand why we're entertaining this.
I've seen them too. It was in the hole in the tunnel. I've seen it. I'm not covering myself with trash.
I'll lean into Miss Horowitz and say, I can see why they had to call us in.
I mean, we have a man of science here who's backing this absolute foolery. But something is in those tunnels. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a dog man thing.
Jackals.
Something is in those tunnels.
We don't have jackals in.
It's entirely possible that it's just wild animals making off with the remains of the crime.
You saw the hoof prints?
But
you're saying animal hoof. You think a rogue goat with a voracious appetite fooled me into thinking it was 3 werewolves? Ridiculous.
You don't seem particularly in touch with reality.
Did I seem like you don't trust me now, but you trusted me before? What? Does one night change so much?
I'm on the side of Detective Bowen here. I think perhaps there is a murderer out there utilizing animals to possibly eat the remains of his crime scene so that he can cover up his crimes. Perhaps that is the case. We can go into the tunnels. I believe that Sergeant Collins and I followed a trail into the tunnels. I think the tunnels have something to do with it. We can all disagree on whatever the root cause of this is, but I think we can all agree the tunnels are where we should go.
Yes.
Agreed.
You'll see soon enough.
Okay. You can be the first one to say I told you so, Constable, if you're right.
I will remember that.
Okay.
I'm sure you
So
will.
we are making our way first to collect the shotguns that you were given permission for, and then we're making our way to the tunnels. Okay. So
And I'll go by the pharmacy.
you want to go by the pharmacy? So let's handle that. So what did you want to do at the pharmacy?
I'm going to see if I can get a jar of ammonium carbonate, which is basically smelling salts, in a dry form so that if I mix them with water, if it's wet in the tunnel and I throw some of these, when it hits that, it will produce ammonia gas. It'll be extremely irritating, especially to the nasal membranes. So I'm just thinking, even if it's a dog, it should work very well to scare them the hell away. Of course, it might burn our noses too, but then at least we're still alive.
All right. So yeah, I mean, you're a doctor. You can definitely get your hands on that. They do warn you. Obviously, it's potent stuff. If you never smelling salts, it's
yeah.
it is something. So after that, you meet back up with the group. So where are you guys linking up before you head to the tunnels? Or are you meeting at the necropolis at that crypt?
That seemed to be the shortest route to where the tunnels start to.
Yeah, it
Branch out.
was.
I'll have to meet us. I don't know where the crypt that you found is. So
Well-
at the
Well, we
gates
could
to
have
the
just walked with you
cemetery.
to the pharmacy
It
and
was-
then.
Yeah,
walk
at the
there.
entrance to the necropolis or something. Yeah,
Right.
I think we can all
Yeah,
find
so-
the necropolis, if nothing else.
I'll have brought a lantern as well, since we'll need something to see.
Wise.
And I'll definitely be putting like a wrap around my face if the doctor is sharing the smelling theory of, using ammonia. That might be helpful.
Well, I see Pip had the good sense not to come back with you.
Pip's dead. I don't know why I said that. No, he's fine.
How's
Jesus,
Mrs.
man.
Webster handling the new addition to your family?
I think that's the least of her problems at the moment.
Problem solved.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that point, Webster. Pip is certainly the least of her concerns.
Yeah. You think you're taking a jab at me? I know how I sound. But you're the
Do
fool
you?
who smells
You know how you
like...
smell? 'Cause
Yes,
that, to
I
me,
smell
is
like the
more
city. They
pressing
won't be
issue.
able to track me because when I leave, I'll rub myself against that dumpster over there and I'll smell like the city again.
I think I think I mostly smell like old English tobacco.
Yes, and you can be tracked.
I think you might have been saved because they didn't see you.
Potato, potato.
Right. So you guys meet at the entrance of the necropolis with lanterns and was it ammonium sulfate? Okay.
Ammonium carbohydrate.
Ammonium
Carbonate, yeah.
carbonate. One of the ammonias.
Once that you said it, now I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was.
Pure ammonia, but so
it's ammonium carbonate.
all right. And you also have you all have shotguns if
Yeah.
you so wish.
I'm better with a handgun, so I'll.
Just before we continue, Walter, did they see you? Did they look at you?
No, they didn't see me. I hid. There was one right above me. If it knew that I saw it, I would be dead.
Well, I don't know about that actually.
Yeah. What if
Because
they were
One saw
specifically
you, right,
sent?
Sergeant?
One saw me and ran away.
What if they are specifically sent to do a specific thing and they're not wild animals.
Yes, and that's what I've been saying. If we find the dogs, they can lead us to who's calling the shots.
That's fine. I don't know why they would follow me, but then go and murder this woman in front of me, unless it was to send a message.
Or she was a target.
You sure they murdered
I
her
believe
in
it
front
was
of
a
you,
target.
Webster? Not that that they came
I
through
listened to
afterward?
her for an hour.
Okay.
Being
I believe you.
the moaning was the screams were at first, but then it went on. These are horrible creatures.
I mean,
It's
Pip
strange
heard
to
all
me
that
then that one of them
too.
was frightened by Sergeant Collins. Sorry, Detective Bowen, please.
I was saying, Pip heard all that too, and he's not out here covering himself in garbage. So perhaps the boy has some pluck he can instill in you.
Did you look at Pip? He could
think he can
barely
barely
talk
speak.
and walk. It is a miracle. He will not. I've seen this before. He's. I don't know what we can do to get him back to normal. He saw his mother die horribly.
Let's not worry about that for now. Let's get on with your spelunking.
Do the ones with shotguns go first or second?
I think they should go first.
Have fun.
Who does have the shotguns, actually?
I have one.
I have a shotgun, but I'm not
I'll-
much of a shot.
I mean, I'll take one, but I'm going to use my handgun, I think.
Actually, I have a revolver, and I'm good with it.
I think that's something we've all kind of come to the realization of, because I also have a really high handgun skill and not a lot of shotgun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
I think
good
we're
with
But
a
probably
also
shotgun.
all
enclosed
proficient.
space, shotguns kind of just
quite loud.
Yeah.
Scatter.
clear anything in front of.
Which is good, because Pip said that they can hear very well.
Well, I
So-
don't believe there's any disguising a group of 5 people going into their nest, unfortunately.
No whistling.
Let's go down into it. Once
Let's
again
go.
into the breach, my friends.
Okay. So you all make it back to the McCall Mausoleum. Elaine, Officer Collins, you were able to lead the group to the hole that's below the main crypt. Each of you climb in or help each other in. This is a amazingly cramped space. It's wide enough for you all to walk single file as you head down into the deep. As you continue to walk and walk, the tunnel starts to dip, and then you get to the corner where you, Officer Collins, originally saw what he felt to be the dog creature. You make that sharp right, and the descent becomes even more exaggerated. And you continue down and into darkness. I'm assuming at this time you have the lantern up. You make it to a large chamber. The air is thicker in this chamber than it was in the tunnel that you were descending down. It's moldy. It's wet. It reeks of death. The substrate below you is slightly damp. You can feel your boots and your shoes slipping slightly if you pivot too hard. And everyone give me a listen roll.
Got an 11, which is
Just a
if I spend one,
I
I've got an extreme.
Okay.
got 50
I got a
exactly on my 50 for 50.
007 is an extreme.
Okay. So those of you with the extreme, you hear as Detective Bowen is holding his lantern, you see 2 separate tunnels leading out of this chamber, aside from the tunnel you came from. Echoing out of one of those tunnels, you hear that yipping and that baying that you've been hearing for a while now. Like Officer Collins, you definitely recognize the sound, and Walter, that is very close to the sound you heard on the streets, not just a night ago.
That's that sound. They're here.
How many? I
saw
assume it's impossible to like hear with the reverb, but
we saw, what was that, 2 that we
there
just
were
saw?
3 that
There
night.
was-
All the reports said, witnesses said they saw 3 werewolves. I assume there's 3 of them.
So,
What if the other one is busy at the asylum doing his job?
Let's go forward. Let's take care of these horrible creatures. Come on! And he's actually gonna, like, with his lantern, just start pushing ahead towards the yipping.
That's the spirit.
Okay. So as you move forward, that sound you're hearing, it starts getting louder and louder. It starts turning into like a guttural muttering coming from further below. And you can continue to hear more and more strange sounds that turn into labored breathing. Now that you're getting closer, now it's breaking down into barking and hyena-like gibbering and wolf howling. This something is down here. So what I need from all of you is a power check.
Ooh,
29 is a hard success.
I got an
Regular
extreme.
success.
Regular.
Okay.
I failed. I have a 90 and I got a 97.
Okay. So as you guys are walking down, you failed. Okay. So as you guys are walking down this tunnel, you realize that there's an intersection coming up. And as you're walking down with the lantern, something shoots across the intersection and breaks the shadow.
Sand roll. We're probably all tense as hell.
Definitely, yeah.
Pass.
58 is
Yes.
pass.
Pass.
Oh bueno.
So besides Constable Webster, any other failures? So Constable, this tunnel is starting to become very tight. You feel like you can't breathe, and you're starting to freak out. You're leading the way, so your first inclination is to turn back and go the other way. But you have 4 other people who are right behind you, so you're like pushing. Let me out! We gotta go! And
So he yells.
that's up.
In fact, could I say that I let off a shot? Because that seems very likely, like leading the thing in this darts, and he just cracks. There's
Sure.
a wide shot. Just this.
Yeah, it's more than that.
So that was a loud echo. As he's fighting, you hear the howling and the yipping get louder after that gunshot. Give me an idea roll.
All of us
All
or
of
just
us?
Webster?
Webster.
Is the idea roll going to tell me that was a bad idea? Because I got it exactly, 70 on 70.
So, from what you're hearing, you're thinking that it's more than 3.
There's more. The pack. The pack.
A little bit more than that.
Go. Yeah, now he's doing the push.
You're thinking it's dozens, if not hundreds, down there.
Flee.
Because you're
No,
so wired and so perceptive. You're kind of counting these sources, and it's more than 3.
Webster, what the hell?
Flee. Flee.
no.
That was a scout.
Stay the course.
Push.
So you guys can try to calm him down with like a psychology or persuasion.
I'll roll psychology.
or fast-
38 is a regular success.
40 is also a regular success. Calm down. Don't want them to hear.
We have time. There's hundreds.
So Webster, Detective Bowen is able to calm you down, at least enough that you're not like trying to force your way through them. But the fact remains, you think it's more than 3 now.
So many. Of course. Why did we think 3 could build these tunnels? Think about it. An entire civilization. This is no freak show. This is a society.
Let's just
What
keep
the
going.
hell
Let's
are
see.
you talking
Let's just
about?
see.
Can't you
If they're a society, Webster, maybe they don't appreciate the murderers and will give them up to us.
Optimistic.
This might in fact be an entire society of outcasts from
Look,
society.
we just want the people who are doing this, and we want to know who's telling them to do it. We can leave the rest of them be.
Fine,
It's
then you
fine.
lead the way, if you're so sure.
You gotta give me the lantern.
Here's the damn lantern.
So I'll shoulder the shotgun and have the lantern and a pistol at this point.
Okay.
Surprised the one that
So-
ran past didn't see us.
So Detective Bowen, you're leading the way at this point? I just want to be clear.
Yes.
Okay, so
Smell
who's
the
behind
candle.
Detective Bowen?
I'll go after.
I will be.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay, so it'll be
Good Elaine
Detective
and
Bowen,
me.
Officer Collins, Detective Horowitz, then Dr. Canmore, and no one to make
Webster
sure
will-
Walter is going to run away. Walter is rigging up the rear.
He's definitely looking behind a lot at the shadows in the cavern.
Yeah, and you
Swinging
think
the gun.
sometimes you think you see a shape,
Yep.
and it makes your heart stop for a second, but there's nothing there. But is it? But you continue to move. You continue to move forward. It goes lower and lower, and you are now all of you fully doubled over as you're going through this cavern, this hard packed tunnel going deeper into the ground. It takes a sharp left, and it opens up into a large clearing. And at this point, as you're heading and clearing, in front of you is a large boulder. And now the noise you've been hearing is deafening. It sounds like if you've ever been to like an English football match, it's like that loud. And as you walk forward, you realize that you're hiding behind the boulder on a cliff, but below the cliff there are thousands of things down there. You can't if you want to see what it is, you would have to kind of lift the lantern, but actually no, there are lanterns already lining this place. It look like fireborne sconces. And
So this is like a cavern?
yes. And there's thousands of these dog creatures, and I need everyone to roll sand.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. 55 is a pass.
I'm good.
54 is a pass.
69
17,
is
definitely a pass,
not a
yeah.
pass.
Or
No.
Webster.
No. Nuh-uh.
Okay. So even with the pass, you're realizing that it's not just 3. It is definitely it is thousands of them. So I need a D4 from each of you that pass. Walter, I'm gonna need a D10 from you.
Yeah, that checks out.
Ooh, 4.
Yeah, in an
Yeah.
8. That's good. That's good. What was the damage from the one in the hallway? Just so I have it recorded too.
Oh, take 1 for that.
But 8. 8.
Ooh, okay. Give me an intelligence check.
Oh yeah, I got that. No problem. Hard success.
Hard success for that.
Hard success.
Okay. You have to get out of here.
Flee in panic.
It is at
Yeah.
this moment you realize how stupid this idea was. You realize there's no one behind you. So you are going to turn tail and run back into the tunnels.
Yep. Blindly. No lantern. Just he's going.
Yep. And we will get to you in a few moments. And who else failed? There was one other. Or that was it? But someone had 4. Someone had 4. I lost 4.
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
I lost
4. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I think it's 5 is the indefinite
Okay.
or the temporary insanity threshold is 5. So almost.
So the rest of you are having a very like holy shit moment. You realize that a couple of shotguns is not going to be enough.
Jesus.
But without a listen check, if you have the courage to peek over, you see the thousands of these things in this clearing, and there's almost a mound in the center. And on the center of this mound is a larger version of this creature who seems to be wearing some type of robe. And it's like spouting, everything kind of gets quiet down. He starts spouting this speech. You can barely understand it. It's just this guttural sound like, and they get really happy when he says that, and they start yipping, and it's a cycle. And it continues and continues. I need everyone to give me a stealth check.
Oh, actually, might succeed.
61 is a failure.
The failure.
I'll spin the luck, but it sounds like it won't matter.
Failure.
Then I'll just take my failure as well.
Okay, so it's at this point you see about 12 of the sets of eyes from that clearing turn and look towards you, and howling begins. And you start hearing growling and gnashing of teeth, and the thing in the center says, and they start yipping and running directly at you. They're climbing up the walls.
Yeah, I'm
Time to go. Time to go.
Yep.
So as we're running, if I see puddles or things like that, I'm going to be sprinkling the salts as we're running past.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna have to figure out order of who's running in what order.
Well,
I was
now
in
it
the
would
lead,
be-
so I'm in the back. It's the
Yeah.
It's
Reverse
Canvor's
is
I'm in the
front,
front.
Webster,
then
Canmore,
Horowitz,
then
then
Horowitz, then Collins, then Bowen.
Quick, pass me the lantern. Because now I'm going first, so I'll hold it up and go as quickly as possible.
I think Webster ran off. The
Yo,
lantern.
yeah,
so
I-
Dr.
Webster's
Canmore, I don't
nowhere
think
to
you're
be
going to
seen.
get a
Yeah, we'll get to
lantern.
Webster in a second. Detective Bowen, you are first to act. Actually, I know you're behind, but you are the first to act. So, what would you like to do?
I would like to run. I don't have enough bullets, let alone. Yeah, no, it's time to run.
Okay, so you begin running up this tunnel. Do you drop anything? Do you keep the shotgun and the lantern?
I would like to.
Okay. All right. So you continue to run up, and next is going to be okay. So Detective Bowman, as you're running, like we said, you're bringing up the rear. One of these things jumps up and is midair as you're passing by. You get narrowly past it, but its arms are naturally long, and it's coming down to slash you. So how would you like to respond to that?
I would like to bash it out of the way with the
That gun.
Okay.
just hit it with my revolver.
All right, so give me a brawl roll and tell me your degree as well.
1!
Perfect. Okay, so this thing comes down to slash you, and you see it just in time, and you're able to get under his claw and hit him with the butt of the shotgun directly over the chin, and it yelps, and it slides over to the side of the wall, and you're able to move forward. Walter, you are blind in the tunnels at this point.
Bouncing off the walls, trying to scrape some scent onto me. They can't catch me.
Give me a navigation check. Or
I actually have points in that. All right. Survey says 49 over 30. So no.
Okay. So you continue to move.
Mhm.
All right. So
he's into indefinite insanity. Like, he just has to get away. He's hearing the howling behind him. Like, they're dead. They're for sure dead.
Yeah. So you continue to run. You're scampering. You're doubled over. The tunnel you found is getting smaller and smaller. It's to the point where now you're crawling on your belly to get through it, and you're crawling and you're crawling, and you get stuck.
Oh no. Oh no!
I need either a dexterity or a strength check to see if you can rest yourself out.
Okay. I think, sure. Dexterity, why not? Crash! Come on! Yes, success. 50 under 60. Thank goodness I have this rotten cabbage to lubricate the passage.
All right, so you continue to run in the passage, or not run in the passage. You continue to crawl in the passage, but it's not getting any wider. So for the next 10 minutes, you're just crawling. All right, now Dr. Canmore, you're ahead of Detective Bowen, and you hear that yelp. Give me a luck roll to see if there's any puddles in this area.
Well, my luck is 50, and I got 50.
Okay.
So, exactly.
All right. So you are able to find a small puddle here.
Yeah.
That you can drop that off in, if you'd like.
I'll sprinkle some of it as we go by.
Okay.
I'm also running.
So you sprinkle.
I assume the tunnel itself is a little wet anyway, isn't it?
It is. It is definitely damp and like hard packed, but there is a puddle here, and you're able to sprinkle it in there. There is a visible haze that starts to lift from that. But we will move on to Detective Horowitz.
Good.
Plug your nose, Doctor.
Yeah. Running, plugging nose, running.
Actually,
trying to get out of here.
Give me a power roll. Or power check, yeah.
21, that's a hard, yeah.
Okay. Something is tugging at you to go back. It's not stronger than your will to survive, but you're uncomfortable with the fact that part of you wants to go back. It's almost calling you back.
Oh my god. But I'm going to power through. I'm going to keep running. Explore that later. Explore that thought.
Yes, definitely. And behind you is another one of these things. Dr. Canmore, it's coming at you. It is going to get a penalty die because of your ingenious trap. So it goes to a... So it is trying to attack you. It's trying to pounce on you, Dr. Canmore.
I will try to dodge.
Okay.
As in just run out of its range.
So you're going to need to beat a normal success.
Okay, I got a 66. That is nowhere near my dodge, so I fail.
Okay. So would you like to push the roll?
Can you push it? Okay.
I need a good description of how you're doing it, and I'll give you what happens if that does. I'll say if you don't push the roll, you're going to slip and drop more of that powder into a puddle right in front of you.
Okay. And if I succeed, what I'm doing is I'm turning around and I'm smashing that bottle right into the thing's face.
I like it.
And I got a 95. That is not a success.
Okay.
So I slip. And that powder goes all over me. Might save me, but it also blinds me in.
So you're just holding your eyes as this part of the tunnel is filling up. You feel cold scrapes in the flesh of your leg, and then a warm puddle forming in the bottom of your trousers. And you literally just feel all your weight rested backwards as this thing digs its claws into you and pulls you back. Now,
unhand me, you horrible thing.
Officer Collins, you hear him scream that, unhand me, you horrible thing. If you turn to look, you see this thing on him soundly, and it's pulling him back into the tunnel.
I'm gonna try and run after him and tackle it.
So you're gonna turn back?
Yeah. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, he's actually behind me, so.
Oh, okay. So you're running
I didn't
ahead.
remember the order.
Yeah. So you're running up to behind this thing. All right. So are you just gonna jump on it? Or are you shooting it?
I'm gonna jump on it and start like trying to pummel it.
Okay. Give me a strength roll.
It smells like Walter.
Let's see what I got. 42. Pass.
All right. So you are on this thing. It failed. So you jump on it, and are you just putting like a rear naked choke? Or are you grabbing it around the hip?
I'm like pounding it in its like ribs and stuff.
Okay, so
I'm not going to try to grab. I'm not. I wanted to like beat on it.
Okay. All right, so you want to beat on it and grab it.
We can say that I grabbed it with the strength check. Yeah, that works.
Okay. So you have this thing grappled. So I'll say you're able to kind of pull it off Dr. Canmore for a few moments. And we're going to go back to Detective Bowen, who's at the head of it. Well, behind, actually. So, Detective Bowen, you're seeing this play out in front of you.
So, Eugene has it in like a chokehold.
Yeah.
It's more of like a full Nelson, like he's got around its arms and is pulling it back.
Yeah, I just want to, while it's pinned between the two of them, I want to just take my revolver and just like execute it if I can.
Okay, so make a firearms check with. So how close are you getting?
I just almost right up against it.
Okay, so do it with a bonus die.
23. Okay, 23 is a hard success.
Okay. And your damage?
10.
Whew. Okay, so we'll say you shoot this thing directly in the neck, and its howls turn into just a blood gurgling in its chest. Eugene, you feel this thing get slightly weaker as that happens, as from the shock of it, and you're able to pull it off of Dr. Canmore a little bit more.
Okay.
And with that happen, Detective Bowen, about 2 more are coming up over that cliff, and one is coming directly at you.
Do the same thing as before. Straight up.
Okay.
Bat it aside. Not with the 99, however.
All right. So this thing bites you on the shoulder, and with that slams you back down. So you literally feel your feet lift up off the ground, and you get slammed back down, and it starts to pull you back. So you're going to take 3 damage, and also need you to give me a strength roll.
18 is a hard success.
All right. So it can't. Even though it has a good hold of you, you have yourself braced on a rock, and you're not being pulled back. But it is not letting up, and you can feel like your flesh and the sinew in your shoulder being pulled apart as it is digging in and fighting against you. You're winning the strength battle, but it's latched onto you. So, Walter, give me a listen roll.
Sure, I want to succeed at this. I didn't. Lucky me.
You didn't?
No. 56 over 40. Things are
All
not
right.
going great for a Walter. Just in the dark, scraping through a tunnel.
So you are you are crawling and crawling. You come up where you hit this point where it goes directly up. As you climb up, you're back to a tunnel where you can at least crouch through. That opens up to something that you can walk through, almost run through. As you're running through, one of these things pops up on one of the adjacent tunnels and just clotheslines you in the intersection.
Yeah, that seems fair. Wait, how did it smell me coming?
So,
is there any chance to dodge? I'm assuming
yes,
not.
definitely. Well, yes, you have a chance.
No, I'll spend the 9 points of luck. I'll do it. Why not?
Okay.
It's gonna go to the side a little.
So you do this sliding Jedi limbo under that arm, and this thing is hot on your heels.
Please, it was for Dr. Cullen. We just came working with Dr. Cullen. He's just kind of like collapsing backwards.
Okay. So yeah, I'm assuming you're going to continue to move forward as.
Yeah, he's like scraping backwards, but yeah, he's trying to like look at this thing, see if it has any like understanding as he's shouting at it. He's gambling big.
Yeah, it looks like it's understanding. So what are you trying to say to it?
I'm trying to tell it that we are working for Dr. Cullen. I don't know how well that's getting out, but he's just like, please, he said we should come down here and help.
Okay, so you it almost smiles at you, and it repeats the word
Shallon.
but it just starts walking towards you, and you don't get a good vibe.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah, now it's time to run. Now's a good time to run.
Okay. All right. Dr. Canmore, you were grappled, but right now you're on the ground. Just in front of you, Eugene has this thing and a hold. What would you like to do?
Well, I'm sputtering because, of course, I got that ammonium carbonate all over me. So my eyes are burning, my mouth and my nose are burning. If I can make out that he's got the thing, I'm going to try to come up with my gun right here to its face and fire.
Okay.
So what's my 35? 46. I will spend 11 points to make it work.
Okay. I'm not going to allow to have a dodge roll because Collins has it pretty snug.
Right.
So roll your damage.
5.
Okay. So Officer Collins, this thing goes limp in your hands.
Just dropping it. If I'm able to do that, it's not my turn, I guess.
Okay. So anything else you want to do, Doctor?
I'll grab Collins. Is Ellis there as well?
Yes.
Bowens. I'm just going to say, we have to get out of here. We have to warn them. It's an army.
I don't know if we'll make it out. They've got Bowen.
Where's Elaine?
Get out of here!
Oh, Elaine, did I skip you?
I wasn't sure where. I don't know. I kind of got lost in the mix. It's fine, but I've only taken one action. So
okay, so let's go.
I'm quite slow, so don't no stress.
Okay, so let's go with you. So what would you? Or what is your character doing?
Okay. Yeah, for sure, Bowen went down before I did, and he and I were in a similar, like, not far from each other. I'd like to help him if I can.
Okay. So this thing, you see this thing bitten onto Bowen's leg.
Yeah.
So what would you like?
I'll take a shot at it then. It's like biting Bowen. I'll shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you using a pistol or a shotgun?
A pistol.
Okay.
That's a 23, a regular 6. No, the hard success, but I'm picturing. D10. 8 damage.
So this thing is going to try to time it. So you hit Bowen instead. Obviously, I'm going to make that. I'm going to make that. It's going to have to be at least get a hard to do that. Thankfully, it does not, and also actually doesn't beat you out either. So, roll your damage.
It was an 8. 8.
Okay.
8 was the damage. I rolled a 23, which was hard, and then I rolled an 8 for me.
Okay, so Bowen, give me a strength check. I want to see if that causes it to let you go.
87.
So you definitely do damage, Horowitz, but it is intent. Unfortunately, it beat that out. So it still has you grabbed.
Got it. Elis, take my hand! I'm just at this point reaching so I can try to drag you away.
So you're reaching out and you're trying to get him. I'll say you even grab his hand, but with this like the wetness and the substrate and just the ammonia in the air.
Just get the fuck out of here.
And as you're grabbing for him, you see more coming up. You see about 20 more right behind the one that has him. And they're not just coming up the wall now. They're crawling up the cave side and enveloping you. Think like Ender's Game. They're just coming from all ends.
Oh, God damn it. Elis, I'm sorry.
Just go. Just go.
Yeah, I'm running at that point. I'm sorry.
All right. So, Detective Bowen, I'm going to say you're going to get covered in more of these things.
I want to just keep just firing my pistol just to get as many of them onto me and away from the others as I can until it's click, click, click.
Okay.
Like I'm not even aiming; they're just everywhere. So I'm just like.
So what we'll do, since they're getting distracted by you because you're the one they've got, I'll give you everyone else everyone in that area except for Walter because he's wherever we don't know yet. But those of you who are in the area, you'll get a penalty, a bonus die when it comes to getting away, since with your valiant distraction. All right. So Collins, like I said, this thing falls limp in your hands. I'll let you have dropped it on Jupiter's turn. What would you like to do on yours?
I'm just gonna look around, look behind me, see that they're all coming up, and listen to what Elis said.
Oh, we have to warn them. We have to warn them.
Yeah, we have to. We got to tell them what. This is ridiculous. There's a whole fucking lot of them. And as I'm running back, I guess I'll try to plink a few. I guess just
like shoe firing behind you as you're running.
Yeah, not even aiming, just.
I don't want to be the keeper that makes you roll to see if you hit the doctor. Are you firing blindly?
I mean, I figured I'd be peeking behind my shoulder as I'm looking, not actually like.
Wait until somebody gets up to you before you shoot them. Yeah.
Okay, so you're firing, just kind of shooting into the
mass. I was
the
trying
mass
to, like,
that is Detective Bowen currently. Okay.
Yeah, and as I'm just trying to escape, do a little bit of damage as I go by. Just it's not knowing that it's not going to do anything.
All right, so all of you give me dexterity checks, so you can dexterity checks to navigate. Do it with a bonus die because you have a little extra time because of Detective Bowen. Detective Bowen, we're going to get to you in a few moments. Walter, we have to address something with you as well.
Hard.
For the bonus die. This is saving grace.
Failure.
Collins.
Thank you, Elis.
All right.
How bad was it, Collins? Do you have luck?
Oh,
It's
a 62. I could spend. Holy moly!
But we're in like a one man and have front of each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can't we just push it?
Like push it.
I can spend like 30, 32.
You can push it instead if you want to save your luck. You just have to give me just justification, and I'll give you a consequence.
Holy moly!
And
as
luck,
I'm
that's
running,
what it's for.
I'm spinning the luck. I'm spinning the luck. It's 32 luck. It's
consequences. What's that?
I don't want a consequence.
All right. So you will spend your luck to turn that into just a normal success?
Yes.
Okay. So, Dr. Jupiter, you're back up on your feet running. Detective Horowitz and Officer Collins, you make your way back to that original cavern. You can see the cave that leads to the McCall mausoleum, and you're making your way there. Walter, this thing is walking at you, and it's just going to try to grab you. What are you going to do?
Oh, I would love to scamper back and run away as quickly as my little feet would take me.
Okay, give me a dexterity check.
Okay. I'm very good at that. Why'd I put 80 into appearance? Idiot. 48 under 60.
Who doesn't want
That's
to die pretty?
changed now. you
Yeah,
can see.
yeah. Die pretty. Yeah, there you
All right. What was your roll again?
go. 48 under 60 success. Just a normal.
Okay. So it is going to get you. It got a extreme.
Oh, jeez.
So it is just going to slash you across your chest.
Yeah. Oh dear.
So you're going to take 4 damage.
Yeah. Okay. That hurts. Yeah. I'm not
Okay.
quite half dead.
Okay. The rest of you are leaving combat. You made it back to the mausoleum. But now you're just in the pitch black night sky of the upper necropolis, like the ground level of the necropolis. Detective Bowen, these things haven't started ripping you apart. They were just, lack of a better term, beating the shit out of you. There was one it seems it couldn't help itself, and it's been gnawing on your arm. Through all of this, you get a sight of it, and it looks like you just been mauled by a dog. But as that happens, you hear a loud howl, and I need you to give me a sanity check, because this is a kind of sound you've never heard before.
100.
Okay. So at this point, give me, you're going to take, wow, you're lucky. You're going to take 1 sanity. That was a very lucky roll. And you realize once that howl occurs, they all stop. Like at this point, they had you almost like drawn and quartered style, and they were getting ready to pull you apart. And after that howl, they drop you, and they create like a circle around you. And you hear footsteps walking up to you, louder and louder and louder. You're holding your arm because it's just bleeding all over your jacket. And as it looks over you, you see this one that's dressed in these almost ornate but old tattered robes. And it looks down on you and says,
Sure.
I don't know what that means.
it makes more noises, and it seems a couple of them respond and they pick you up. And it's kind of sits you up, and it walks around you and kneels down. And you're getting a full view of this thing. This thing is completely dog-like. Tattered hooves is just veiny, pallid skin, like beet red eyes that glow in the darkness, because your lantern is long since been destroyed. It's only the light that was already here made by them. And it starts coughing, and eventually it just says,
Your name?
I'm Detective Elis Bowen.
Too many of us. We must go home.
I need to go home, or you need to go home? I'm sorry, the pain. Ugh.
when you say that, it roars in your face, and it just says,
Too many of us. We must go home.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, we didn't... we were just looking for... There have been some murders up above.
It starts to mumble, and you give me a power roll.
52 is a pass.
All right. So after a while, the broken speech, it flips, and you start understanding him a lot better. And he says,
There's no more dead. We're starving.
Oh. Even with... I mean, there's a sickness going on.
Not enough.
I mean, so many people are dying of disease. Are they not buried?
Not enough. The doctor tricked us.
Oh. Colin.
and when you say that, him and a lot of these creatures around you start to growl.
We're suspicious of him. My companions who were down here with me, we were trying to build a case to arrest him, to get him to stop. What did he do?
He forces us to give up the bodies.
I see. How can we help you stop him?
We give you Cullen, you give us the book.
The book? What book?
Stolen. It was stolen by thieves.
Okay.
But it's in the church, but we can't get past the threshold.
I see. Look. We'll get you the book. Yes, deal.
And he shakes his head, and he outstretches his claw.
I shake it.
All right, when you shake it, you feel almost electrified. And you feel it coursing through your body. I need a sanity check.
25. That's good.
Mm-hmm. So they make a way for you.
Yeah, we'll get this sorted out. I'm sorry for the violence.
All right. Walter. This thing, what would you like to do? It's just slashed you.
Yeah, does it have a hold on Walter?
Not at the moment.
He's just gonna try and run away again. I think that just makes the most. He knows he can't fight this thing. So like he's just trying to scramble back and up and out.
Okay. So give me a dexterity. Or even athletics if you have it.
I can look. I don't think I do. I don't. 56 under 60, so just a minimum success.
Okay. So this thing is going to slash at you again. Would you like to dodge or fight back?
Oh, yes. Oh yeah, dodge all day long.
Okay.
Now we're cooking. 09 under 50 extreme.
Okay. So you're able to dodge out of this. It swipes over your head, and you literally see chunks of the wall break off as it swings for you. All right. And you're still continuing to run?
Yes.
Okay.
Knowing that they're dogs, he's also just gonna be like firing his pistol into the ground, just like to make noise and try and hurt its ears.
Okay.
But yeah, he's running.
All right. Doesn't seem fazed by that. It's going to try to swipe at you again.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's going to try to bite you. So I'm assuming you want to dodge, so roll me your dodge.
Yep. Normal success. Okay. 31 under 50.
All right. So it's going to beat that out. It's going to do 7 damage to you.
Oh, that's gone. That's goodbye, Webster. Gets a mouthful of trash, man.
Okay, so it grabs you by the neck, and it continues to it almost closes your windpipe like a lion, and just one quick twist of its neck, you just see blackness as the lights go out. Right. So the rest of you are out on the surface.
We must alert the Lord Provost and tell him that they're amassing an army under the ground in the sewer
Did
system.
either of you see Webster? I lost sight of him.
He ran while we were there, and he must have taken a wrong turn.
Yes, I'm sure he's gotten lost. He didn't have any light.
I'm afraid Detective Bowen didn't make it.
No.
I think he bought us some time, though.
Well, we must haste to it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But what do we do? Who's going to believe us, though, Dr. Canmore? When we say what a bunch of dogs are responsible? I don't...
To tell them that there's an army of, I don't know, Germans down there, or Hessians, or a secret communist group. I don't know.
Just tell them to go down there.
Once they start seeing them, and we don't want them just to go down there. We want them to
send them to their deaths.
Be ready with guns and exterminate them. Well, tell them they're a bunch of murderous transients that need to be cleared out.
Okay, so it's at this point, Detective Bowen, you stumble out of the necropolis.
My God, Bowen!
Oh, your arm. I'll immediately try to bandage it if I've got any stuff.
How are you alive?
Their leader didn't want us dead. He wanted to make a deal.
Deal.
They're whatever they are. I think they eat corpses.
Oh,
the bodies. They said there were not enough bodies and that they're starving, but they said Colin tricked them somehow. They're like he's starving them on purpose. They want a book. They'll give us Colin and go away maybe, I think. But there's a book in a church we have to get. The church. We shook on it.
What church? There's 50 churches in Glasgow.
Is there a church in the graveyard? Or
There's one close. The Glasgow Cathedral.
Glasgow Cathedral. It's in the cathedral. They can't go inside, but somebody took it from them. I think Poland has something to do with that. But if we go get the book, they're not going to come attack. We need the book. Where's Webster?
We lost him.
We think we lost him.
And we thought we lost you. Hopefully he'll come stumbling out as well. But
of course, the way we all smell right now, the way we all smell, Walter could be standing right next to us and we wouldn't notice at this point.
Oh, with the pain, maybe I wish I had died, but glad they let me go.
Bowen, would you be willing to go back and talk to them? I think I know where they could find some food to hold them over until we get this book.
Where? What?
There's that barge full of corpses. Right? Stop some killings.
They're all diseased.
I don't know.
You think they would want them?
We'll mention it to them when we get the book.
With one stone.
Let's get the book before I go back down there.
Let's get the book. We'll see if we can find a book. We don't even know what we're looking for.
I have a feeling we'll know it when we see it. It won't be a Bible.
All right. Well, let's. I'm going to try to patch Ellis up as best I can. I'll do we'll call it a medicine roll. It's first aid. I passed. So you get 2 points back.
think it's 1.
Yes. It's 1 for first aid, but I'm a doctor, so.
Joe, you're muted, I think.
Is it 1?
I thought is it 1?
It's 1 if you do first aid. But I was just saying I'm a doctor. Wait a second. Here we go.
I think it's like 1d4 in pulp, but I think Space Call of Cthulhu is 1.
Yeah, I think it's just, yeah.
All right. So I took
medicine.
3 damage when they latched onto me. Did I take any more damage when they were gnawing on my arm?
Medicine deals 1d3.
Yeah, you would have. You would have taken 2 more.
Okay. Ow. So I am back up. So that was down to 3. I'm up to 4 now with the first aid.
You
right,
did
but
medicine?
I did medicine.
Medicine takes a prolonged period of time, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it does take time. So,
it's not just. You can patch me up properly later, but let's just get this done. This madness has got to stop. Colin's got to be stopped.
What a ghoulish business this is.
I'm making jokes.
All right, let's go to the church.
Making your way to the church, you see the Gothic architecture. You see a fence surrounding the cathedral itself. As you walk into it, you see it is a beautiful cathedral with red and gold tapestries all over. As you walk in, you see a priest sitting up front, and he gets up and says, "Oh my God, what happened to you all? Give me a spot hidden."
All of us?
Mm-hmm.
38 is good.
40
I
is
can spend a
regular.
point to make it a hard success if needs be.
No, not necessarily. So you look at this priest, and it looks like he hasn't got sleep in a very long time. And he's just, how can I? What's going on? Sit down, man. And he kind of ushers you over to one of the pews.
You look corpse-like yourself. Don't priests get any sleep?
We're looking for a book.
He kind of jumps back and he says, "When you say that, I haven't been getting a lot of sleep. There are things that happen that you wouldn't believe me. It's just like this endless clawing, night after night, like something."
I
think I know what you mean. Look, we have reports that there's a stolen property, a rare book that's been stored in the cathedral.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about.
I want to roll psychology, see if he's lying. 39 is a
on that
pass.
too. Yeah.
He's definitely trying to protect you from something.
No, look. All right. I'm in a bad way. And this city's in a bad way. And we need the book to set things right. All right? I'm already in a bad way. How bad could a book be? I mean, look at me.
Father,
You don't know-
seem
you-
to know something.
Demons have been trying to claw into this church night after night.
Yes.
I met them.
That's-
I met them.
We
Then
all
you
met
know this
them.
is not something you want to play with, boy. You can't trust them.
No, look, Father. I mean, what's the book? Do you know the book?
Follow me.
All right, we'll follow.
And as he's walking, he says, as I became the minister of the cathedral, the outgoing minister charged me with a very important secret. He takes you behind the main chapel to a private chapel. And behind that, he pulls a lever, and a stairway is released. You go down a circular staircase, and down there is a golden altar, and on top of it is a huge black book. He told me to never let this leave church grounds. That demons were after it, and if they got a hold of it, the damage they could do could be unfixable.
I'm sorry. Who told you this?
The former priest.
What's the book? Can I?
If you're looking at it, it's just a black book. There's no title in the front.
If I open it up, is
there text?
There is text. It's written in this very weird language, but it looks like someone has gone within the margin and translated it to English.
All right, let's see what they had to say.
So it just speaks of a beautiful place where you can feast forever. That there's always more to eat, and that you can never go hungry. But it speaks about like a race of people that this is almost like they're almost like a heaven for them.
Yeah, no. Look, I spoke with them, Father, and they don't want to come up to the surface. They want to go home. They don't like it here.
Something in the book trapped them here.
They need it. They can't leave, and they're being put up to all sorts of horrible things.
Yeah, and Detective Bowen, also give me a sanity check, because this thing it goes on to talk about other places, other dimensions, and some of the descriptions you swear you've seen in your dreams.
4. That's a success.
Okay, so you will just take 1.
I'm going to take this book, and if the priest's not going to physically stop me, I'm going to start.
Well, we can stop him, so
nobody else needs to go down.
He doesn't fight you, but he tries to kind of. He's tired, and he tries to kind of like almost like shuffle you out the way. It's like, you don't understand. It has to stay here. You can't trust them. I don't know what they told you.
I know that they didn't kill me when they could have. Even after I killed some of them.
But they always manipulate people. They manipulate good men. They even had Lord Arkwright come here, and he offered to buy it for an astronomical sum.
Lord Arkwright?
Yes, he offered to donate 20,000 pounds to the church.
My God.
And he knows about the book.
If he asked for it specifically, he must.
I'm sorry. I have to do this.
Because
if
I
my
think
soul's
Cullen
damned,
wants
it's
the
damned.
book.
But when they could have killed me after I killed some of them.
Would you rather they run rampant through Glasgow?
They're already killing people, Father. Like if they wanted to cause mayhem and murder and slaughter, they are more than capable of doing so already. This book's not going to change that. This book can help them. I'm grabbing the book. This book.
But so it is significant.
At the very least, you must promise to bring it back.
If I can.
It is significant that they cannot enter onto holy ground. If they were just animals, just beasts, just another form of human, why couldn't they
I don't have time
come
for
into
this.
the church?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know that we
stumbling
have time
off
for
as
philosophical music.
fast as my wounded self can back down to the tunnels with this book.
All right, he's going.
We need to speak with Lord Arkwright, I think. What is this all? This all connects somehow.
This is a
Have
bit
you
too
muted
much
again?
for me.
He sits down in an armchair and he says, "Please be careful. I'll say a prayer for you." And he breaks out his rosary and he starts to pray as you guys.
Thank you.
are
Glad
leaving.
somebody's praying for me.
I think we need to get message to the Lord Provost that something horrible is about to happen.
So how would you want to get that? How would you want to get that message to him? Well, what do you want to
time
say
is
in the
it?
message?
What
Oh,
time
at this
is
point, it's about like 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
it? I will do it via messenger. So if there is a a place near the church outside that does postcard messages, and that's how everybody did them back then. What I'll say is, have discovered a large community of transients living in the tunnels under the city. They claim that Dr. Cullen has forced them to commit murders for him. A lost Constable Webster. I'll leave it at that, I think.
Okay. So Detective Bowen, you also you as you're looking in this book, you see about just up to about 2 pages of something that's called the Voyager's Song. And it gives directions, and it speaks of returning the chosen people to the land of dreams.
I'll get them home. They won't be a problem. We don't need to do anything rash. We'll get this resolved. I'll be back.
So where are you guys headed at this point?
I'm going back down the tunnels.
Detective Bowen, are you sure you should go alone?
Anybody else can join me if you want, but
I just think for your own safety.
I'd say, look, Elaine, they could have killed me. They had every right to kill me. I mean, honestly.
I shot one of them. Perhaps I shouldn't go.
I
shot garner much favor.
I shot one too, and they left me alive.
So as you guys open the front doors of the church, though, the main doors, out beyond the gate, you see hundreds of sets of red eyes staring at you.
Saves me a walk. Oh, I go walk over to the gate. Do you have Colin?
Send your officers to the lower infirmary. You'll have all you need.
Okay. Wonderful. Are you all gathered?
This does not require proximity, but it will take all of you.
All right.
Say that again. Oh, wait,
It's
are
going
you
to
saying
take
that
all
to
of
him?
us.
Mhm.
We gotta help me sing this.
We can't even read it.
This is going a bit far.
Just I can read it. I can understand it. Just copy the sounds I make.
So they start leading you to back to the necropolis, but not to the crypt that you were in before. They're leading you to a hill or a mound that's towards the center of the necropolis itself. And that they point up the embankment, and they are ushering to where you should go for the ritual itself.
Yep, I'll go take my position.
Okay. So how many magic points do you have?
I have 13.
Okay. So you're going to need the help from everyone else because the spell itself requires 30.
I have 13.
I have
I have
18.
11.
Okay. So each of you that are adding to it are going to take a loss of 3 sanity.
Okay. Could each put in 6 magic points.
Say again?
If we each
Put
put
in
in 6
6.
magic points, that's 30.
Okay.
Well, no, we all need to put in. There's not 5 of us,
Oh yeah, Webster's down.
Oh.
so we each need to put in 7. 2 of us need to put in 8.
I can put in 8.
I'll put in 8.
We 3 sanity. We roll for sanity, or
You're going to take 3 sanity.
Oh, okay.
So you begin to chant this out.
Oh.
Wool Guraga Ra Rayra Uhrug Uhrug Gurau Gachar Gurkarug Gurkarug Churach Urech Hurry Fetchech Hauf Grigor Agor.
So you chant that for about 12 minutes, and the sanity loss you guys have comes, one, because you feel like power from you sapping, and also a light orb comes out of the center of Detective Bowen's chest and just expands and expands and expands. It expands about 2 miles in every direction. The ghouls around you begin to dematerialize. And as you continue to chant, more and more disappear until you're alone on top of the hillside.
So we just saw a giant glowing 2-mile.
Yeah. Orb.
So all of Glasgow lit up, and
Yep.
then all of the ghouls were gone.
I feel tired. Let's go get this back to the priest.
All right. So you return that to the priest. He is flabbergasted at the light he saw, and he says, "What did you do? What did you do?"
They wanted to go home, Father, and so we put them back here. You could put this back where it needs to go.
I don't think the demons will be attacking you any longer.
No.
You'll probably sleep better.
I would like to believe that's true. But if you did, in fact, help, thank you.
Now, we have to go to the infirmary for multiple reasons.
Lower level. Yeah.
My Father, thank you for your help.
So you all lead the police to the infirmary, and these creatures make good on their promise. Coming with police backup, you push past Cullen and all the orderlies, and you break the locks on some of these locked quarantine rooms, and they are just filled with bodies. One of them is filled with a bloody pentagram, the missing fetus of Miss Siddons, and more notes on how Cullen believed he needed more bodies, and that the more bodies he got, the more magic he would get from Garchar. He kept mentioning this Garchar, and safe to say that's sufficiently enough to have him arrested and thrown into a sanatorium.
Yeah.
So you all, well, most of you are able to you solve the case. It all falls down on Cullen. He's eventually actually executed for the amount of dead bodies. There's even proof that he was the cause of the disease. So, but there is no mention of Walter. Ever since the tunnels, you've heard no mention of him.
Walter.
And
losing the husband is bad, but I mean, if I might take Pip back home with me to Cardiff.
Now that the creatures are gone, we could go down there and look for Webster. Maybe he's just crouched in a corner somewhere.
He could be living like a little madman.
Well, it's only been, a day.
Yeah, he's already a madman.
You don't think we owe it to him to at least find out?
I think so. Yes. I do.
All we have to do is go down there and
Well, we could organize a search parties for him.
Yeah,
to do
a search party.
I think we should.
Okay, so you organize and you get. I mean, he's a part of the police force, so there's a huge turnout of volunteers, even from the community. After about a day's search, they find tatters and trash and bones and the remains of poor Walter. There wasn't much left.
Well, his wife has Pip now. So.
No, I think Elis is taking him.
Yeah, I'm taking to Cardiff.
Oh, just leave her with the trash.
So that's where we're in the story. So essentially, during just before World War One, the ghoul population in Glasgow was the largest concentration of them in the world. It rivaled all of the colonies, even the colony in France. After the war, when people started to leave because of unemployment and things like that, there wasn't as many dead, so the situation became untenable. So the leader of the ghouls decided to enlist some help because his people were starving. So he promised Dr. Cullen magic to help him find the seat of intelligence if Dr. Cullen got him bodies. Dr. Cullen concocted the disease to produce more dead. That's why it was situated in things like the prison and the hospital. It was literally a solution that caused a serious chemical, serious allergic reaction that killed within a day. But that still wasn't enough. At this point, he was already getting money from Lord Arkwright because Arkwright was paying him to try to find research for his own disease. Arkwright had nothing to do with anything. He was just a innocent bystander who happened to be funding a madman. He used that money to pay the warden of the prison, who enlisted ne'er-do-wells to collect dead bodies from graves and also hospitals in Ireland and England. And that's where the bodies from the ship came from. They were collecting them all over. And the point of that was to kind of hold over the ghoul colony. But once it arrived, it immediately was put under police cordon so they could never get to them. Also, when you arrived, it became the issue of how to get the bodies through the city without being seen. So there were hundreds of bodies in the hospital itself that he was experimenting on, and he would give them to the ghouls when he was done, but he could never get them because the police presence was so high at this point. Dr. Cullen was crazy. He would take who they killed, do his experiments, and he would give them the scraps. It's up to you to decide who was really the real evil. Was it the ghouls themselves who tricked Cullen, or Cullen himself to be able to do some of the horrible things he did? But that's why they call it Death and Murder Incorporated, because there's a lot of money moving around and a lot of bodies moving around. And it was all just to feed the ghouls. They were just thousands of them, and there's not supposed to be that many of them in one spot. And there wasn't enough bodies. If you guys had searched some of the graves in the area, you would have found holes in all of them. All the graves are empty. There's no one dead left.
So, was there anything special about Lucy Siddons? Was she?
Yeah, what was the story there?
Well, she was pregnant, and Dr. Cullen thought that because she was with child, that he might have a better luck finding the seed of intelligence in her, since she was carrying a child. There is no such thing as a seed of intelligence, even called Cthulhu, so he couldn't find it. So it was a wasteful death at the end of it.
Cool.
So he was like practicing occult stuff as well as doctor stuff, I guess, because he was doing the.
They gave him just enough that he would believe that he had real power. He had some spells that could help him speak to ghouls. Other than that, the only other thing he could do was stop your heart.
Oh,
that was the best. Yeah, you guys didn't really interact with him aggressively, so that didn't happen. But he didn't have much, especially for the amount of bodies he was supplying. They were giving him bare minimum to keep him going.
Our players included Morgan Llewellyn, Nathan Decker, Holly Buteau, Chance Wooten, and myself, with Joseph Clay as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows, free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, and iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.